I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I have just come off one of the longest continual events in my life where I have just been working so intensely and so hard that I would just collapse when I went to bed at 1 or 2 every night. And it almost becomes a drug when you're working that hard and that focused. And then I did 17 days straight of my own radio show and 2 or 3 other interviews a day. And I physically didn't feel tired, but that happens usually about once or twice a year when I get that exhausted. And so I took off 3 days, 4 days total, I guess. I don't know, Thursday through Sunday. 4 days. And it was just such a rejuvenating experience to unplug from everything. I still couldn't get away from Big Brother, and I'm going to cover that in the last hour, or the New World Order, but it was good to slow down. Very, very good. And I think I'm going to do it again coming up in the next few weeks. And you know, I think it's important for everybody to do that. I know it's been said a trillion times that it's good to take a break sometimes and be reflective. You know, a lot of people, philosophers, engineers, researchers, a lot of people that do brain work, they'll go off for month-long retreats sometimes. And I don't have that luxury because the war is so intense, but it was just such a reflective time and so many revelations and so many understandings that I had, and also great peace. You know, I've been able to fire myself up and get aggressive and stare into the face of the stuff we deal with. I mean, what we talk about is real, folks. The New World Order is real. They really are killing people knowingly with vaccines. They really are setting up a world government to carry out eugenics and world population reduction. All the horrible things we've seen in the last century were only beta test. And it's all on record. You know, even if you don't believe me, you have to believe the facts of what the establishment states. And I kind of get fired up and get aggressive and, oh, we're ready. And at a primitive level, that's been very successful. And I'll still get fired up here on air. But I tend to work hard all the time because I know the time is short and the enemy's moving on us, but also because it keeps my mind off anxieties dealing with this, how precious and good my children are, and the threats they've received, not just my wife and I. And I think about really how sorry I am for the people that work for the system who have turned themselves into what they are, that they can do the type of things they do. In fact, last week I told you guys to find the Congressional Defense Budget hearings about child kidnapping rings, and you found it. Remember that? It was like Donald Rumsfeld, DynCorp Halliburton child kidnapping rings. You actually found the clip, and I never played it. I'm going to play that later in the hour. Jaron, you remember, you found that. I saw it on screen. Do you have that? Yeah, we'll get it back and play it next hour when we have when we're simulcasting at prisonplanet.tv. And stuff like that really shakes me to the core. Because, you know, you might feel sorry for a mad dog that has rabies foaming at the mouth coming down your street. But at the same time, you got to go out in the street with your rifle and put it down. I mean, these really are pitiful people. They compete with each other over who's the most ruthless, who's the most cunning, who sees humanity as hamburger, as food on the table. Now, their lives matter and their children matter, but the rest of us, we're animals. Here to be culled, here to be fed on. Here to have our lives be used up like so many resources. And the globalists talk about that. You know, they say we're just animals, and it's survival of the fittest, social Darwinism, that it's okay what Hitler did, and what Stalin did, and what Mao did, and what Pol Pot did. And it's okay all these horrible things governments have done, because might makes right. If you're in power, that means you're, in a social Darwinistic sense, the best. And so it's your right to do that. But I use the analogy of cancer. Is it cancer's right to run through the body and cause death because it replicates faster, it doesn't follow the regular program? No, it is a aberrant malfunction. It is fallen. It doesn't produce strong, vibrant, dynamic, uplifting, beautiful societies. Freedom and liberty does. Darkness begets death and destruction. And the establishment knows there is good and evil. They talk about how they're beyond good and evil, but they know they are of the cloth that we would call evil. They would call strong, dominant. And so they kill 1,300,000 Iraqis. They kill 500,000 kids here in the U.S. with abortion. What is it if the cop tasers you to death or cop shoots you in the back? What is it if they euthanize old people? Where does it end there? Where does it stop? It doesn't. If it's for the earth, go ahead and kill the majority of us. But they aren't setting up world government to cull the population because they care about the environment. The elites are actually busy playing God, remaking the environment. They're killing and wiping people out because they're control freaks and it's their nature and they enjoy it. And they are challenged by good people. They are challenged by people that have love and light. They are challenged by people that truly want to build a better society and go to the stars, because that threatens their monopoly of power. So they want a new dark age with sequestered, coveted, protected high-tech zones hoarded under their control, and they're fighting with each other over it. They bring death, and they love death. Remember growing up reading Bible passages, lovers of death. In fact, I'll just do it. I can search engine it. They were lovers of death. And that'll give me the verse. They were lovers of death. They were lovers of death. Let me see if I can find a quote. It doesn't come up. A bunch of other things do. Let me try a Bible verse. Bible verse. They were lovers of death. I don't know why it doesn't come up for me. I found another passage. But regardless, they love it. It's the ultimate expression of a control freak. To try to control the future. Control your reproductive system. Control the wealth. Control the carbon cycle of the planet. A private group of bankers are going to control the carbon cycle of the planet. Let's continue with the calls. I'm going to get into the First Amendment attack, a bunch of other news, and Paul Watson's got big breaking news coming up. Who's up next here? John in Texas. You're on the air, John.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, John.
Hey, the way things are going in Pakistan, where the Taliban...
Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.